Good afternoon to everyone in the Outlands. We hope this message finds you all healthy, happy, and hopefully spending some time with your family and loved ones on this holiday weekend.
As I am sure many of you have seen by now, the Board of Directors has made an announcement about how we're going to proceed with activity starting June 1st. That information in its entirety can be found on the SCI website as well as on the Kingdom page.
In conjunction with what the board has put out, we released our plan for the phase reopening of the Outlands starting June 1st. We want to remind everyone that even though the BOD's announcement came out, that does not come into effect until June 1st. As of right now, we are still in the gated phase of opening, which means there are no in-person activities happening in the Outlands whatsoever. As we move forward, we will be continuing to monitor local, state mandates and guidelines and seeing when we can move to phase 1.
And these guidelines and rules are not suggestions. We want to be very, very clear that in conjunction with the decision that the Board of Directors has announced and the Kingdom phased reopening approach, those must be followed to the absolute letter. There will be no warnings. There will be no second chances. This information is available far enough in advance that everybody should be familiar by June 1st of what those rules and regulations are. If you show up and elect to not follow the rules, you will be asked to leave and you will not be allowed to participate. If you refuse to leave, you'll be the guy that shuts down an event or a practice or a meeting or whatever activity you have come and elected not to follow the rules for.
We don't feel that this will be a problem in the Outlands, but we wanted to make sure everyone knows in advance our stance on this subject. Moving forward, when we decide to change to phase 1 or phase 2 of the reopening, we will make an announcement that will be published on the Kingdom newsletter, on the Kingdom webpage, and on all of the various social media aspects, as well as a video from ourselves.
So all of that information will be very readily accessible. We want to thank in advance all of our seneschals and all of the people who have put these plans together. This has not been an easy task, but everybody's working very hard so that you can return to the hobby that you love so much and that we all love so much, so that we can be together again soon.
We would encourage any healthcare professionals out there in our populace, if you have suggestions or advice for us and our officers, please contact ourselves or the Honorable Lady Christine, our Kingdom Seneschal, or your local Seneschal with that information. We would love to have your input as we move forward.
But in the meantime, until we get there, we have a lot of really great online content still. As we've stated, June 1st is the date, so there's still quite a bit of ball yet to play before that date happens. So please be sure and check out the Collegium that'll be happening April 10th.
Next weekend?
The Royal University has put together some amazing classes. We still have Peering at the Outlands happening. That schedule can be found on our social media page.
There are also more Outlands Royalty episodes, as well as some diversity and inclusive, equity and inclusivity training sessions coming up for cultural appropriation and see something, say something. Those can all be found on the Kingdom calendar.
So now is a great time to get your garb spiffed up.
Absolutely. One thing that, with the announcement from the Board of Directors, we wanted to make everyone aware of, it's a very hard decision to make, but we have decided at this time to postpone Battlemoor until 2022. We would like to thank the event autocrats and their staff, the members of the BAM, and everyone who has volunteered and worked really hard to try and make Battlemoor happen in 2021. We just feel that at this time there's no way to know when overnight camping and the 150 person event cap will be taken away. So it's best for us in our Kingdom at this time to postpone Battlemoor until 2022. Look forward to seeing announcements about how you can help with that event coming out in the future.
But until then, we just want to encourage everybody, while we are still digitally participating, to approach each other with kindness, not to assume intent. Written word can be very hard to interpret. these are our friends. These are the people that we absolutely adore. So just continue to be the amazing Outlanders that you are, and have kindness in your heart and kindness towards each other while we're in the home stretch. Stay social distanced. Keep your mask on. Keep your hygiene high. If you can get an appointment for a vaccine, get your vaccine. Care for one another. Check on each other. I think the home stretch is actually going to probably be the hardest.
It's the hardest part for sure.
So making sure that we are taking care of one another and showing love to one another in the way that we have always done in the past.
Thank you all for everything that you've done during this crazy time of a pandemic. You all have been an inspiration to Her Majesty and myself in the ways that you've cared for each other, the way you've looked out for each other, and the way you've treated each other with kindness and courtesy. Please continue to do so. Until we can meet again in person, stay safe, everyone.